Hello everybody and welcome back to the second half of the James Dinsdale episodes, episode 82 I believe. So thank you very much for watching the first half. If you haven't, jump back, episode 81. Welcome to the Jack Simpson podcast. Nearly tripped up again. Welcome back, James.
Thanks for having me again, mate.
No, not at all. Not a problem at all. So obviously last week we spoke about your spiders.
Yeah.
Which was very informative, and I've had a lot of comments from a lot of people about, especially your knowledge on the subject, and how fascinating they are, and a few people quite weirded out with the reel that I put up, the Instagram reel that I showed you.
Yeah.
And so this week we're going to talk about your snakes, which you've again
got a couple in
it. So we'll see how that goes. How you been?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, all the usual shit.
So snakes then. Obviously, we spoke about spiders
and
how obviously your missus bought you your jumping spider, which sort of set you on this path. And so when did snakes come into the fold?
I think I'd been keeping tarantulas probably about 6 months before I got a snake.
Right.
But I sort of just fell in love with everything I've seen at that point at the reptile shop and looking at all the videos on YouTube and online. So I decided to delve in, get a corn snake. That was my first snake, a corn snake, which is one that I've got with me. Not the exact one, but
that's the little one, isn't it?
That's a little one down there. It just went up from there. So started progressing through different breeds of snakes. I was trying to decide what sort of snakes I'd actually enjoy breeding. So I got a couple of pairs of each that interested me. And I've now worked out what I want to breed, which is mostly corn snakes, hognoses, and I've got a reticulated python, which is the biggest snake that I've got with me.
Yeah.
But I will only have a male as well as the one I've got because they get pretty big.
Right. Okay. We did speak about the size of this thing, or the size that it will get to. So you just said then about you would enjoy breeding or enjoy having them. What do you mean by that?
Well, each different snake's got their own characteristics.
All right.
You get corn snakes, which are a really good beginner snake. They're a little bit quicker, not so slow moving, but they're less reluctant to bite you and that sort of stuff. And you get stuff like a raw python. A raw python, I haven't got one with me today, but it's a thicker bodied snake. It's probably they can get about 4 or 5 foot sort of size from Africa. But they're called a ball python over in America, and it's literally because when you hold them, they'll curl up in a ball and just sit there with you. Don't really do a hell of a lot of moving around or anything like that.
Right. Okay.
So that to me, like they're really popular. Raw pythons are. They're a really popular, good beginner snake. It's just not my sort of snake that interests me.
Okay. So with the corn snake, then how do you? Can anyone just go into a shop and get one? Is there certain sort of parameters that you need? Do you need to buy, certain containers for them?
Ideally, you need to have a setup beforehand, or depending on where you go, they might let you buy it at the same time because you need to let conditions and all that sort of stuff get down to what they're meant to be. So you need to get humidities right, you need to get temperatures right, you need a hot end and a cold end, and then you need to make sure your ambient temperature in your enclosure is good. Several different ways to keep them. You can keep them in breeding racks, which is like the method that I do because I breed them. Or if you're having it as a pet, so it's more of a decorative sort of, or like something you really want to look nice, you can put them into a nice big viv, deck it all out.
Right. Okay. So when you're obviously when you're in the shop and you've got the snakes, is there multiple corn snakes that there is on offer?
Yeah, so you get something called morphs. Right. So that's a genetic thing. So you get your wild type colourings, which with corn snakes is like blacks, oranges, and all that sort of stuff. And then you get different morphs. So essentially, what happens is in the wild, there might be a corn snake when they was being imported into the country that looked a bit different to the rest, sort of thing. So that would be sold to a breeder over in whatever country it goes to. From then on, they'll breed it to different snakes and actually see what patterns and morphs come out on the babies, see if it is a new morph.
Right.
So morphs are all like they're genetical. It's a genetic makeup. So that will make your snakes look different, give it different colours, different patterns, and all that sort of stuff.
Right. So what do you go for then? What's your preferred sort of?
Well, my preferred morph.
Yeah.
My favourite corn snake morph actually is the one I got with me, which is called a palmetto.
Right. Okay.
It's got other genes in it as well. I think it's a lava palmetto, het, amel, and there's something else I can't remember. It's on the top of the tub, so I'll look in a minute.
Right.
But yeah, palmetto is my favourite because it's a very distinctive colouring and patterning on it.
Can you describe that colour?
So essentially, it is the snake's white, and it has little scales all over its body that are different colours. So you'll get some with like oranges, blacks. Depending on the other genes that are in it, you might get like yellows and all that sort of stuff as well.
Right. Okay. So what fascinates you about snakes? Why snakes? I know obviously you've got a bearded dragon and and that as well, but you have quite a lot. How many snakes do you have?
20 or 21.
So
I've
you
got a
have
fair few.
You know, you've got a lot of tarantulas and a lot of snakes.
Yeah.
They're your two sort of main, your main thing. I mean, we will touch on the bearded dragon stuff later.
Yeah.
So what is it about snakes and your tarantulas that obviously that do make them stand out more for you and make you want to have, the variety that you do have?
I think with me, it's just down to personal preference. I've always been interested in snakes. I just think they're fascinating. Yeah, it's all to do with their characteristics as well, because it's all right with the tarantulas and stuff, but I don't really, obviously, like I said before, I don't really handle them a hell of a lot. With my snakes, I get them out all the time.
Right.
So they're really good for handling. It's quite obviously fun. Like, you can get bonds with certain types of snakes, or with most types of snakes, because they are smart enough to like recognise you and all that sort of stuff.
Right. Okay. So would you have one? Obviously, we mentioned last week. Obviously, the missus is not a massive fan of spiders.
Yeah.
What's she like with the snakes?
It's not too bad. She doesn't handle them. But
do you get them out in?
I can get them out in the same room with her, and she's absolutely fine with them.
And do you just sit on the sofa watching TV?
Yeah, I can sit on the sofa watching TV
with a snake out. What would you usually have out?
I'll mix it up a bit because I like to get them all out so they're all out for an equal amount of time, sort of thing. But my favourite is my reticulated python.
Right.
I love getting my reticulated python out.
Why is that?
They're just really intrigued by everything around them. So they're always checking something out. They're always they're a semi-arboreal snake, so they live on the ground and probably they can go quite far up into the trees. Actually, they've been caught climbing trees 20 foot up. So they're always like climbing around on you. They're not just sitting still and looking at you. They're quite interested, and they are one of the smarter non-venomous snakes. So with them, you actually do build quite a big bond with them.
When that gets to the sort of, the sizes you were saying earlier, sort of 18, 20 foot, would you still be getting it out then?
Yeah, but when it gets to that sort of size, it's recommended that you have someone else in the room.
Right, okay.
Just in case.
Right, because they're squeezers, aren't they?
Yeah, constrictors.
Yeah,
yeah.
Constrictors, squeezers, whatever. That's how snaky I am. So with obviously, when we're talking about this, I like to sort of not dumb it down for the audience, but we've got to like
explain it.
For me, I know nothing about the world the world that you're in. You know what I mean? I'm very sort of gym and jiu-jitsu, all that sort of stuff. So I know now. Obviously, you've got a venomous snake.
I used to.
Right. Okay.
I have got slightly venomous snakes. They're called hognose snakes. I haven't got one with me again. But it's not the sort of venom you got to be worried about. It's essentially if it bites you, it's like a bee sting.
Right. Okay.
But you can also be allergic to the venom. say like a bee sting, you don't know if you're allergic to it until you've been bitten by it. But normally, if you're allergic to sort of like bee stings and wasp stings and all that, you sort of maybe stay away from them or be a bit more careful around them.
Right. Yeah.
So it can be a bit more reactive sort of thing with you.
So with your snakes then, or with snakes in general, is it the size of snake that would determine how powerful the bite is?
No.
No,
not at all.
So which one, like out of yours,
yeah,
which has the sort of most powerful bite?
At the minute or when it's fully grown?
Either or both.
Okay, right. So at the minute, I'd probably say I've got a common boa upstairs. She can be a bit defensive.
How big is she?
She's not very big. She's actually smaller than my reticulated python.
Right, okay.
But they have big jaw muscles on the back of their head. So they have got quite a bit of power when they bite. It's not a very nice bite.
Have you been bit by her?
Yeah, several times.
Oh, okay.
Several times, yeah.
So what happened? How did that come about? Which one was which is the one that sort of stands out of the 7? Was there ever sort of, a lot of blood or
she doesn't have massive teeth at the minute because of the size she's at.
Right.
It's more just it just tears your flesh a bit. It depends how they grab you, because if they grab you really well, it literally will just be a bite and you'll have little teeth holes or little teeth marks, shall I say. They're like little pinpricks at the size that she's at the minute.
Right.
But if she bites you and she doesn't quite catch you right, you can rip your skin a little bit.
Right, okay.
It's not a beginner snake in the slightest.
Okay, when you've spoke about this before, obviously, like with beginner snakes and whatnot, like how do they tear the snakes?
So it's how well you can predict them, what their attitude is like what their behaviour is like. You get some sorts of snakes that are quite sassy and a bit more defensive, not aggressive. Snakes and that ain't aggressive.
Would that be? I'm just thinking of that like in sort of relative terms as humans. Like no humans are the same. You can say like an Englishman, for example, but like me and you are not the same person.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And there's many of my friends that I know, and we're nothing alike.
Yeah.
So why is it that sort of snakes are generalised? Or is it because they are, if you've got a corn snake or whatever, all corn snakes do this?
Don't get me wrong, like they've all got their own personalities, but as a whole, there's a majority as to what the snake's behaviour is like. So I'm not saying you're going to go out, buy a corn snake, and it is going to be the most lovely thing in the world, because, like I say, they've all got their own personalities, but with snakes you can tame them down. So, like, the more you handle them, the more they get used to you, the less they're going to bite you. But like snakes, like corn snakes, aren't really going to bite you.
If that does bite you, like at that size,
but the size it is now,
yeah, you're not going to feel that, are you really?
Not really, no.
Not
right. It's like the size of the teeth that's got in it at the minute is. I wouldn't even call it pinprick size.
Right.
So
okay.
Like, you're really not going to feel it that much.
Okay. That puts me at ease a little bit more, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So with your snakes then, talk me through the sort of progression of them. Like, what was the first snake you had? Like, obviously it was your corn snake, not the one you've got here.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there, what was what snakes did you have, and how did you come to like them ones to have them? I suppose.
So like I said, I started off with a corn snake. I probably had that snake about 4 weeks before I went and got my second one. So I didn't have it long at all.
Right.
I just enjoy getting it out every day. Obviously, corn snakes are like quite a thin-bodied snake.
Okay.
They're not a thick snake or anything at all. So I thought, get some variety in there. We'll have go and get a fatter bodied snake. So I decided I wanted to go and get a raw python, because that's another very good beginner snake.
Right. Just quickly, what are the sizes that these get to then? So a corn snake, they do stay fairly small.
Yeah, they stay fairly small. Females can get sort of like 5.5, 6 foot.
Right. Okay.
Males stay a bit smaller.
And what sort of a body? Well, how thick are we talking with their?
Probably I don't know what you'd call it in diameter, but like a corn snake when it's fully grown would probably be about that.
Right. Okay.
And raw python can probably get about that.
Right. Okay.
So it's a much thicker bodied snake.
Yeah. Much bigger.
Yeah, much thicker bodied snake. They're a lot slower. So if they do go moving around and stuff like that, they're a lot easier to catch.
Right.
But yeah, so like that, I got my raw python, but like I say, about 4 weeks after I got a corn snake. And from then on in, I got another couple of corn snakes. I got another couple of raw pythons as well because I wanted to grow them on to breed them. And then it must have been about 3-4 months later, something like that, I started getting some bigger raw pythons. So
Right.
I got my first adult male and adult female, which I've still got upstairs, but they are paired together at the minute breeding, so I didn't want to
Right. Okay.
interrupt them, so to say.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. None of us, no one likes to be interrupted.
But yeah, from then on in, I started getting all my hognose snakes. They are probably my favourite small snake
Right.
because they probably hit females probably about 3 foot maximum. Males stay a bit smaller, so they are a small snake, quite a small snake.
So within snakes, then, as a general rule, are the females usually bigger than the males? Right. Okay.
Normally, yeah. Don't get me wrong, you can get some oddities of males that do get quite big, but yeah, your males on a whole tend to stay a bit smaller.
Right.
They do tend to stay a bit smaller. So if you haven't got so much room, because with some snakes, depending on what it is, there can be quite a size difference.
Yeah.
Like reticulated pythons, males can get about, like, we'll go into it a bit more later, but you've got mainland reticulated pythons. The males will probably hit around anywhere between 9 and 11 foot. And mainland females can get about 20 to 25 foot. They have been documented up to 28 foot.
Crikey.
So, and it is the longest snake in the world.
Right. Okay.
Is a reticulated python, because everybody thinks it's the anaconda.
I was just going to say that.
No.
Right. Okay.
Heaviest bodied snake, anaconda.
Right.
Longest snake, reticulated python.
So what's the difference in the thickness of the body then between a python and a reticulated python and an anaconda?
A reticulated python. Don't get me wrong, they get pretty thick.
Yeah.
Like, just not quite as thick as an anaconda. I mean, I've never seen a green anaconda in real life.
Right.
I've seen loads of stuff about them, but I've never seen one in real life. But they're big.
Is that something that you would want to do?
When I've got enough room.
What about going to visit? Where are they from? Where are python?
Right, reticulated pythons of Asia.
Sorry, anacondas.
Anacondas, I believe you can find them in like the Amazon, places like the Amazon.
I know that they're in Florida now, aren't they?
Yeah, in
They're
the Everglades.
Yeah.
It's mostly reticulated pythons though, over in the Everglades.
Oh, right.
There was a big breeding facility of them for them out there. And there was that dreadful storm ended up destroying the building, and quite a lot of snakes ended up getting out.
Well, they reckon that 95% of the native species have been wiped out by them.
Yeah.
And they're finding like American alligator like inside them, aren't they? I mean, I've seen a few photos of them where they've torn open. I assume. I mean, what would happen in that situation? Like, how would that happen? Would you think, like, if you were just to, speculate on it, is it that the anaconda's eaten something that is just too big, and it's ended up splitting it, or would it be attacked by, say, another American alligator and it's American crocodile, whatever they are?
So finding it dead, essentially, with the alligator in it. Yeah.
The alligator's in it, or even the alligator's, like, the actual body of the anaconda is split open.
Yeah.
Where the gator is.
So. Well, it could be multiple different things, really.
Tell me which one was more likely.
Depending on the size of the alligator, it could probably be too big for the snake. It's very, very big possibility. Also, it could be something like it hasn't quite killed the alligator before it's eaten it.
Right,
the alligator might still be alive when it's inside the snake. Like I say, it could be multitudes of different things. It could be attacked by another alligator. You never know.
Yeah. Because they move pretty slow once they've eaten, don't they? They
don't tend really to move a lot once they've eaten because they have to digest it. It's like when you keep pet snakes. Depending on the size of your snake, type of your snake, it depends how long you've got to leave it after you've fed it before you can pick it up and handle it.
Because they regurgitate, don't they?
Yes, they will regurgitate.
Right.
It.
So
And
I do know a little bit about
yeah,
snakes.
you do. But that can be quite dangerous for your snake.
Yes.
It can be quite dangerous for your snake. And it can scare them quite understandably because they ain't got a clue what's going on. But yeah, so with something like a corn snake, you generally leave it 24, 48 hours.
Right, okay.
After it's eaten, before you go and pick it up. Because it gives it time to like digest it a bit.
Yeah.
And then after that, it should be absolutely fine. You might get a bit of poo on you, but that's not so bad. At least your snake's all well and healthy. But something like a fully grown reticulated python, with what they eat, you might be leaving it a couple weeks to 3 weeks.
Right. You just mentioned there.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've never really given it any thought.
Yeah.
About snake pooing.
Yeah.
Where's its arse?
It's got a cloaca.
What?
It's called a cloaca. So
Right.
it's essentially its butthole.
And whereabouts is that? I'm assuming it's on the underside.
Yeah, it's on the underside, and believe it or not, snakes have actually got a tail. You might know that, but a lot of people think that snakes don't have a tail. They do.
Right.
And their tail is what is considered after their cloaca. So it's right down near the end of their body. Most snakes will sit its tail and taper out and gets thinner.
Yeah.
So that'll be its tail. But I'll show you when we get the snakes out. I'll show you what a cloaca is and where it is, and it's easier to show rather than tell.
Yeah. Well, do you want to get one out now?
Yeah, I can get one out now if you want.
Yeah, let's go for it. Why not?
Okay. We'll start off with the corn snake.
Just making sure that's recording. Just making sure that we're recording my timely demise. No, this corn snake is quite small, to be fair, that he's getting out. He's got a lovely bum on him, everyone. Lovely pair of cheeks.
Right, there we go. She's a little bit wet because she's just gone for a water bowl.
Nice.
She's all right. Right. She'll be fine. Do you want to hold her quickly while I put the headphones back on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I hold her?
Yeah, you can just hold her like that. She'll be all right for now.
Okay. Whoa.
Quite quick, mate.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
You can have that back.
Yeah, no, that sounds. So this
it's just pure muscle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all a snake is.
Like,
Pretty much pure muscle.
It's just so strange.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like how she's holding, it's a she, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a female.
Like how she's holding herself up, like it reminds me of something. on a male. Okay, yeah. So talk us through the
cloaca.
Yeah,
right. So on a, she might get a little bit funny about this, but right, you see that little flap there? She'll be fine, mate. She won't, but she's never bit me.
Okay.
See,
well, there's always a first.
There is, mate. You are completely right. Right, so
where it
you see,
dings in a bit. Yeah. I can see that.
That's her cloaca.
Right. Okay.
You see how her tail tapers off?
So is that like a flap? Does that
so
open to and then the poo and then it
and
like a trap door?
Also where they mate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is also where they mate.
So snakes like anal.
Yeah, you could call it
that. Fair enough.
It's just where their sexual organs are at the same time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. With you. Yeah, I was just being silly there. Okay. Yes. Pretty.
She's pretty lively.
Pretty lively, isn't she?
She is pretty lively.
Would she climb if you were to put her? Would she like wrap around?
Not necessarily wrap around, but she's try and climb it.
Okay.
I mean, looks like we're going to find out.
I'm more than happy for her to wrap around that if she wants to.
See, corn snakes aren't really they're not arboreal. They're more terrestrial.
Land.
Like yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so they stay on the ground. These aren't climbing snakes. They just move around a lot and they can be quite quick. But like I say, they're a very beginner-friendly snake. Would you like to have a proper hold?
So what do I do? Just let her pass through the hands? Yeah,
just let her pass through your hands. Like, give her some stable support underneath her.
Yeah.
Should be absolutely... Yeah, go on. Take her. There you are, mate. As long as you don't, so when you got her going through your hands, just have open hands rather than hold her.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like that. Just keep moving your hands forward. Like, if she moves a bit quicker, just move your hands a bit quicker. And after she's been out for a little while, she will...
Relax a little
bit more. It's just because we've just got her out.
Nice.
Different environment, different temperatures, all that sort of stuff.
Woo. Here we go.
There you go. You've done it, mate.
I know, yeah. You can have her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. She's a
Okay.
lovely little thing, mate.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, she's a lovely little thing.
Okay, yeah. For everyone just listening, I just held her. She's not big,
I'll just say about
but yeah, I'm freaking out a little bit more than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
Not freaking out like it's fine. You
Yeah.
can keep her out.
Yeah.
Just that I've never been around snakes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What is it that freaks you out about them?
I think it's the feel more than anything.
Really?
That it is just like because she is so small, but yet it's solid. Like
Yeah.
she's just firm.
Yeah. Pure muscle.
And yeah, I mean, because I've not been around them and stuff like that, it's just like I don't like snakes. I've only ever seen snakes on the TV, really.
Yeah.
Attenborough and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just their sort of sinister portrayal, I suppose. In films that like obviously
Yeah.
the
So
sort
this
of
is
khaki films like Anaconda, for example,
Yeah.
and like snakes on a plane
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I think it's just that it's for me. If I was to come across one of them in the wild, I mean, I would have I'd have to be probably lost.
Yeah.
To be fair, and I'm out thinking, well, that's food then. So I'm looking at it different. Not now, obviously. I'm not looking at it like, I'll have to put that in a wrap. But do you know what I mean? But like in that scenario, I would kill it because I would want to eat it because it's a sort of a survival thing. I've just not been around them really. That's all it is.
And
more than
like,
anything.
Going
it's just
back to
the
what you were
unknown.
saying about films and that, it's like what I said in the last episode about the tarantulas.
Yep.
Films portray them to be these horrible, nasty creatures that all they want to do is bite and attack you. They really don't. There are types of snake that are more defensive or food aggressive.
Right.
We shall get to a more food aggressive one soon.
Okay.
But if you see them in the wild, don't go near them, and you won't get bit.
Yeah.
They're not going to come chasing after you, trying to bite you. They're not going to. They'll probably just scurry off their own little way. They'd prefer to be left alone in the wild. But when you have them as pets, once you socialise with them, get them out, handling them. So what you're looking for? Good signs. She's flicking her tongue a lot, and it's like quite long flicks, which means that she's tasting the air. She's quite relaxed. She's intrigued, just finding everything out about her situation. If you have a snake that is doing really short, sharp tongue flicks, it's probably a bit worried and it might be more defensive towards you.
Right.
She's moving around quite a lot as well. She's sort of calming down now. Like, it's just because she's been out now. She's getting used to it again. But yeah, if she started having maybe shorter tongue flicks and she was being very like curled up and defensive, maybe wouldn't go near her because she wouldn't be in the mood for it.
So, what I think I know the answer to this, but I'm just asking, to get the full scope of the animal.
Yeah.
What is the tongue flicking for?
So tasting the air,
Right.
sensing the air, so they can. Essentially, it's their form of taste, and it's just how they find out about their surroundings. What's safe, what's not safe. But yeah, she's absolutely loving life at the minute, mate. But yeah, so like I was saying, the longer the tongue flick, the better. Which she's doing really, really long tongue flicks at the minute. I've got a snake upstairs that doesn't even really give you tongue flicks,
Right.
Which is the boa I was on about earlier.
Yeah, like her tongue's almost constantly out.
Yeah, it just means she's nice, calm, relaxed.
Chilled environment.
Yeah, chilled environment.
Chilled environment in the studio today. Chilled environment. Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it was through a lack of a better word. Like when I said freaking out, like I'm not like panicking. I'm trying to think of a better word, but yeah, just that it is, just that it is an anomaly. Like it's not something that I'm ever around. Like I don't go to, snake pet shops or like I don't have any. Like you're the only friend that I have that's got snakes.
Yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially at the variety and the amount that you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's really cool.
Yeah, she is cool.
Really cool snake.
Yeah. Like I say, a really good starter snake.
So how old is this one?
I can tell you actually. So she is 10 months old.
Okay. And she'll get to 5, 6 foot?
5.5, 6 foot.
Okay.
She could reach you.
What's she looking now? About 2?
Maybe 1.5, maybe. I'd say maybe 1.5.
You reckon?
Yeah, 1.5. Well, 1.5, 2 foot, we'll call
Okay.
it. We'll call it 1.5, 2 foot.
We'll go 2 foot for all the men out there.
But if you look underneath, because she's palmetto, you can see that darkness in her belly? That's her organs inside.
Right,
So you wouldn't be able to see that on a normal corn snake.
Right.
On a wild type corn snake. It's because of the genes she's got in her, which makes her skin slightly see-through. But yeah, I mean, we can always try getting the bigger girl out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to handle that one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's fine. If you don't want to do it, mate, don't want to do it. That's fine.
No, yeah, I will.
She's never bit me as well.
It's fine, because it's not poisonous, is it?
No, it's not venomous.
If it bites, anyway.
If it bites you, it just bites you. They've got slightly different teeth. So
I know they retract back, don't they? They curve back.
Reticulated python ones curve back, so they curl back.
And have they got 2 jaws?
What do you mean?
Have they got, or is it so they can etch, but like their individual jaw?
Essentially, they can dislocate their jaw.
But do they not edge back like in a soaring motion to move the prey back?
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
so they'll move one side back, one side forward. Yeah. So yeah, you got that right. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Different snakes have different amounts of teeth.
Right.
Do you know? I couldn't actually tell you how many teeth a corn snake has, but it's not 2, which a lot of people think it is because they see fake snakes on films with 2 fangs at the front.
Just the fangs, yeah.
Yeah, no, they've got more teeth than that. But reticulated pythons, I believe it's around 200 teeth in their mouth.
Oh, right, okay.
So they've got a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And obviously when that snake sort of gets to the size of 16, 20 foot plus, you don't want to be getting bit by that.
No.
At all.
Certainly not.
No, definitely not.
Well, with the bite comes the constrict.
Mm-hmm. Which is also why when they get over a certain size, you have someone else there, just in case. Because, so like with corn snakes, you can pretty much just go in there, pick them up and get them out. You haven't really got to worry about them biting you at all. But with something like a reticulated python, they've got a more aggressive food response.
Right.
So if you open their enclosure, they think they're getting fed.
Right. With just quick, I was just thinking about, you were talking about scent and stuff earlier with her flicking her tongue out.
Mm-hmm.
With you handling the corn snake, and now she's eyeing up my fingers. With you handling the corn snake and then getting the reticulated python, would she not have left scent on you? Because would he not in the wild necessarily, but I don't know whether they wouldn't come across each other, would they? Different countries. No. But would he eat her? If they were left together?
I don't think. Well, I suppose really any snake that's bigger than another snake could eat it.
Yeah.
But if they had a choice, like in the wild, they'd just go for their normal prey.
Right.
There are certain snakes when you start talking about king cobras and stuff like that. They are called king cobras because they are snake eaters. They are the king of the snakes.
Yeah, because I've seen that before where I can't remember what other snake it was, but yeah, it's almost like a game of cat and mouse with this snake, and then it I think it laid over it and then bush.
Yeah.
And then it was,
King cobras quite commonly in the wild eat reticulated pythons.
Right, okay.
Because king cobras can get quite big. They can sort of reach 19 foot. And they are the fastest. I think they're the fastest snake overall. But they're definitely the fastest venomous snake. They can hunt you down. Like, you wouldn't be able to run away from it.
Right, okay.
It'd catch up with you. They're
so
very quick.
Stand and fight people.
Yeah. They're like I said, they're very misunderstood creatures.
Right.
Like king cobras and stuff like that. But obviously, I don't have a king cobra or anything like that because you need licenses in this country for anything essentially that's front fang venomous.
Okay.
So, my hognose snakes are rear fanged venomous.
Right.
So
Okay.
essentially, to envenomate you,
Yeah.
they would have to chew the venom into you. With a front fanged venomous snake, like a cobra,
Boom.
when the two front fangs go into you, the venom is injected
Yeah.
rather than them having to chew it into you.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And with rear fanged venomous snakes, there are a couple of oddities, but rear fanged venomous snakes, their venom's not normally as toxic or anything like that.
Now that she's chill
Yeah.
on there, would you be able to put her on the table and she would stay around, or would she keep skirting around? Would she?
Because they're quite inquisitive snakes, she'd probably have a little nosy. But yeah, she just depending on her mood.
She didn't like that. She didn't like my chat up line.
But yeah, no, like she won't just stay there. Raw python might just stay there.
She knows where Dad is.
Don't want you going down there, mate. Come on. But yeah, so like she will move around and be more inquisitive. She'll probably try and crawl in my pocket because she hasn't got a heat mat.
Right. Okay.
But so obviously being a reptile, cold-blooded, can't regulate their own temperature, so they do rely on basking.
Yeah, this table's quite cold.
Yeah, that's why she's quite cold. Because when you take them out, once I've had them on their heat mat upstairs, they're warm. Like,
Yeah.
really warm. They do cool down quite quick. But this is fine for her. Like she can go a fair amount of time because you can put snakes in something called brumation. So when she gets to breeding size, you could essentially take heat away from her. You don't feed them for 2 months, something like that. And it can put them
Keep
into
that
a.
right up.
Is that better?
Yeah, perfect.
It will essentially put them into a better state for breeding.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, like you can do that with stuff like corn snakes, hog noses, and stuff like that. But you couldn't do something like that with a reticulated python or any sort of python because their body can start to shut down. Organs will start failing. They can die quite quick.
Right. Okay.
So corn snakes and hog noses in a family of snakes called colubrids. Whereas I'm not sure what raw pythons and reticulated pythons and that what their genus is. But yeah, with all colubrids, you can take them off of heat, put them into brumation for a couple of months when they're a bigger size, not feed them, and yeah, essentially put them back onto heat maybe a couple of months later, and then they will be ready for breeding. Because sometimes it helps them getting in the mood as well.
Right.
Because with obviously, like I said, with tarantulas, you can breed them all year round. Snakes, you can't. They do have a season.
Okay.
Different types of snakes have different types of seasons. So, corn snakes, normally you can start breeding them right at the end of the winter, going into spring, summer. At the end, sort of middle summer, end of summer, they might stop breeding and stop being interested.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so, but we shall get the other girl out for a little minute. If you don't want to handle her, mate, don't.
Let's move on to the big guy. Yeah, no, it's
Don't
fine.
handle her.
If she strikes, she strikes. Yeah, I'll survive.
Yeah, you'll be absolutely fine, mate. Don't you worry.
I'll survive.
Right.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're moving on to the big girl now.
She's not that much bigger at the minute.
She's plenty bigger than the thing. You can put that one on the sofa if you like. It's a heated sofa, so she'll be fine. No.
Let's see what mood she's in.
All right, so he's just stroking her at the minute.
Tap training.
Tap training. Okay.
And she's quite warm, actually, which is good. So here we go.
Yeah, we'll give it a minute.
Yeah, no, that sound, mate. She is quite a lot stronger than the corn snake. Right. Sorry, darling. can't exactly pass her to you either because she's wrapped round my hand quite a lot.
Do you want me to see? You got her?
No, it's all good. All good. All right, come up here, girl.
Yeah, just make sure you keep the mic sort of within
Central
a
to the
fist.
mouth,
Yeah,
yeah.
within a fist of your mouth.
Okay. Is that all right?
Perfect.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, come on.
Where's she gone?
There we go. So this is a reticulated python. This is a baby reticulated python.
Okay.
I think she's 8-9 months old again. And they are, compared to that corn snake you just held, considerably stronger. She could wrap my hand up and I would struggle a little bit to get it off, shall we say, because they are very strong. But you start unwrapping it from the tail. But because these are arboreal, they will climb. So you'll notice most of the videos she'll be climbing up my arm onto my shoulder, or investigating around because it's a new environment for her. I trust her, but I don't trust her enough to be up near my face.
Right.
She's never gone for me, never
Okay.
striked at me at all. Just got to be obviously a bit wary with them. So you notice how she's a bit warmer.
Yeah.
She can retain her heat a bit more because obviously she's got a bit more size on her.
Yeah, like.
And they feel different, don't they?
Yeah. It does. Feels completely different to the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, different snakes have.
She seems like her face is a lot more sinister.
Yeah. A lot of people say that, mate. But believe it or not, she's probably one of the loveliest snakes I've got.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you can keep her over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so, mate. We'll keep her over here.
Would she wrap round the? Would she wrap round that? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really want her to because it'll be a bit of a job to get her
Get
off.
her back up. Yeah, no, it's fine.
But yeah.
Let's see if we can get some picky picks in action. Oh no, autofocused.
Try and get one of the red.
They're beautiful.
I mean, I can touch a red and I don't have a problem. So. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Get a good shot?
Yeah. Did a little
Nice.
video as well.
No, nice one. Yeah. But these are more inquisitive snakes. And as I was saying before, you see what I did when I got her out? I was essentially stroking her.
Yeah.
It's called tap training.
Right, okay.
So if you get food aggressive snakes, you have to do something called tap training with them. And it is for your safety, not theirs. Because when obviously she's fully grown, she's going to be quite big, talking 16 foot plus.
Yeah.
You don't want something like that thinking you're food, because this is a snake that could potentially fit you inside of them.
Yeah.
When they're fully grown. Oh, come on, girl. Don't you start. There we go. But yeah, so when she's fully grown, like that is a snake that could potentially fit you inside of them.
Yeah.
So you do have to be a bit careful with
Put it
them.
down a bit. Look. That's it.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like you're trying to sit up and you're just moving it up.
It's getting used to the mic, mate.
Just relax. Yeah, just relax with it and it's fine.
But yeah. Very, very inquisitive. And she will not stop moving around. It will take her hours to get tired.
Right, okay.
Hours to get tired. But believe it or not, when I'm sat up in my flat, I do like getting her out when I'm watching TV. I'll put her around my neck. She will literally just stay there.
And so where's she from?
So these are from Asian countries.
Okay.
She is dwarf. She's not a mainland. So this is what I was going on about earlier. I'll go into. Dwarf reticulated pythons, even though they are dwarf, they still get ridiculously big. So as a female, she could still hit 16 to 20 foot.
Right, okay.
There is a step down from them called super dwarfs. Females will tend to get maybe like 10, and they'll max out at 11 foot. But most of them you'll find around 9 foot. Males probably about 5-6 foot. But with the super dwarfs, they are a bit more feisty. So, mainland reticulated pythons and dwarfs tend to have actually like quite a puppy dog nature to them. Once you've like been handling them, taming them down and that. But when it comes to the super dwarfs and stuff like that, they can.
She can come over.
Yeah, are you all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all right with her sort of chilling about.
Yeah. She's a little puppy dog, mate. Like, you can touch her mouth, you can touch her head. She won't do anything.
Yeah.
It's a lot of training that goes into them, though, because you don't want to have a snake like this. And
go on then.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Right, okay.
Let's do it.
Put your hands out
So
then.
how do I hold?
So just put your hands out underneath her. Yeah, there you go. And she will.
She is strong.
Yeah, she will.
So how do I hold? How do I stop her from getting away? Is it just the same?
Yeah, it's just the same.
Because she's crawling.
There we are. She is off of me now. All yours.
Nice.
Yeah, just like do the same. So just let her run through your hands. And she'll be absolutely
But
fine.
this one's wrapping around.
Yeah, it's because she's arboreal, used to holding on to things.
So if she just wraps around there, would she then let go when she gets further away? Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she can do.
Okay.
She will do. But yeah, like I say, she's puppy dog tame, mate. And she is. So her morph.
That's crazy.
She's not a wild type. That's not obviously what they look like in the wild. You don't find ones like this in the wild.
Okay.
She is a. It's on top of her.
Oh, she's wrapping round.
She is a lavender sunfire. That was the one I was looking for, lavender. So lavender is a mix of two different albinos, white and purple.
Yeah.
And sunfire is the patterning that she's got to her, because that's not the pattern that they'd have in the wild as well. Maybe don't want to go over your computer just in case.
I know, yeah, I don't want to press anything. Right, yeah, go on.
Yeah, do you want me to have her back?
You can have it back.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. But she's
That was nice while it lasted.
Yeah, it takes, like I say, like some people.
That's as long as I could hold my breath for. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't really say much then. The camera obviously caught it. Yeah, sorry about that, people. You were talking, I think. I was kind of concentrating on the snake.
I was concentrating on the snake and you.
Yeah, I sort of heard you saying about obviously the patterning.
Yeah, so that's the sunfire gene in it.
It's got a snake. I've got a snake skin on my. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, the colouring is phenomenal. It is absolutely beautiful.
So that's two different types of albino.
Right.
Together.
Okay.
So it's more this albino, which, like I said earlier on, is called lavender albino, is a mix between purple albino and white albino. And that gives them more of the orange colour down the sides. So if it's normal albino, like a white albino, it'll be quite yellowy, like the top of her hair.
Right.
Purple albino is just darker. And the white part of the scales is essentially purpley looking, like a purple tint on it.
Right. Okay.
So hence why she's got that. But then with the mix of them together, she's got the oranges down the sides. And then all of that patterning, where she's got that stripe going all the way down her back there, mixed in with I sort of call them diamonds, going down the side of her.
Yeah.
That's the sunfire gene. So if she was a wild type, all of that patterning would be connected. She'd be green, yellow. I mean, if you can look on Google Images, have a little look.
What's it called?
Reticulated python.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. But yeah. Like you can see here, she's puppy dog tame. She's my favourite snake.
Reticulated python. Oh, not on Wikipedia. On Google Images. And yes. So
yeah.
So you're on about like this.
Yeah, so that's a wild type looking. That's what they look like if they're from the wild.
Okay, that's for their camouflage, isn't it? For the environment that they're in.
Yeah, they like catching bats in caves.
Right.
For
Okay.
food.
Could have done with that in Wuhan.
But yeah, they do like living in caves. You will find them up in trees and stuff like that, but they like catching bats. You see all those little holes round by the front of her mouth?
Yep.
Up there. They're all heat pits. So that's what I was talking about earlier on. So she can see in heat.
Right.
So she can see them like bats and that flying through the air and catch them.
So So when with them heat pits and that, then she's looking at us, knowing that we're a big
big
form.
of
Right,
living animal because we've got heat.
We look like an ape.
Yeah, essentially, mate. Yeah.
Okay.
So she
I
knows.
mean, when they're at the size, at their biggest size, what is the prey that they would go after?
In the wild, if you're talking mainlands, they go after stuff like buffalo, big cows. they not obviously like fully grown like buffalo and cows,
like
but they can eat. They can eat like a calf and that. Like in captivity, you'd be feeding them pigs and farm animals, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone at all, because obviously after they've had a meal like that, they leave quite a big poop.
Yeah.
So yeah, big snakes definitely aren't for everyone. They aren't for most people, if I'm completely honest. If you're just looking for a pet. But if you are hell-bent on getting a big snake, there are a few different big types of snakes you can get. So you got, obviously, reticulated python.
Yeah.
You can get boa constrictors. Boa constrictors can get quite big. Common boas, females, can reach about 13 foot. The reason I'm not so keen on boa constrictors is because they're a bit more unpredictable. So I can read this girl's body language and I can tell if she's going to be in the mood for handling, if she's going to strike and try and bite me. So if she was going to try and bite me, essentially she'd curl up and the centre console of her body, probably about that proportion, would be straight and it would be solid because she'll have a front end wrapped up and she'll have a back end wrapped up so she can spring at you.
Right, okay.
Right? So essentially, it's like a spring effect sort of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't see any of that now. She's absolutely fine.
Yeah. So on the top of her head, then, what's that?
That?
Yeah, the black, yeah.
That is called rubbing. So that's essentially because she's got obviously air holes in her enclosure. When she's been going around investigating and that, she's just pushed up against the air holes and it's just rubbed off on her skin. But when she sheds, that will be gone. So with her next shed, that will be gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how often does she shed?
Because she's a big snake and these grow quite quickly. She could, by the end of her first year, probably be about 9-10 foot.
Right. Okay.
So essentially, yeah, she could reach.
So how old is she now? Easy. She's all right.
She is.
Is she? Come back this way. No, stop grabbing on.
She's only 6 months old.
Right.
So. Yeah, she's only 6 months old at the minute. Yeah. So, but
I can feel that I'm not breathing when I go to.
Do you want me to put her away?
No. Like when she's coming over, like when I'm reaching to grab her, I'm like, ooh. And then I'm like, yeah, I just seem to. Yeah.
One of the things that freaks out a lot of people is they don't have arms and legs.
No, it's just the anomaly. It's just that's what I'm saying. Like if you had a dog in it, like you could have any dog. Mm-hmm. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you said, like, if you had, obviously there's the big thing in the news at the minute with the XL bullies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you brought your XL bully down here and was like, fine to pet, I'd be boom straight.
Yeah.
Belly rubs, flipping over everything. If you were saying, yeah, she's sound, I'm golden with dogs. Yeah. No worries. But I'm a bit like it with cats as well. Like I'm a bit suspicious of cats. Just because I weren't brought up around them.
Yeah.
I'm not really a cat person. I'm not a huge fan of cats.
Yeah.
I don't more like they're a cat. Like I would never do any harm to any animal.
Yeah.
Unless I needed to, life and death.
Mm-hmm.
But I say any animal. Obviously, I do eat meat. But yeah, like I wouldn't. Not for fun. I wouldn't just attack an animal to, for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And it's the same. Like it's just the sort of element of the unknown. Like, it's all well and good. Again, if someone said to me, "Oh, no, my cat's fine," I'm still like, "Yeah, I just keep it away from me." Like, I'm not
Yeah, essentially. So you know when to go near a dog and when not to go near a dog, don't you? Yeah. So
when the owner says it's all right.
Yeah. But like you can read a dog to see like
Yeah.
if you should be going near it or if you shouldn't. So it's the same with snakes. It's exactly the same with snakes. It's just different things that you've got to look out for. So obviously, when you become more confident and knowing about those particular things, it becomes a lot more realistic, to be honest. I suppose is the word for it.
I think it is that as well, like you said, about obviously with the films and stuff like that. I mean, I know that she can't do that much damage, like like
not
on the scale of things. Like, even if she, grabbed my arm, bit my hand, wrapped around my arm or whatever.
Yeah,
it would get to a point where I'd be like, okay, I can overpower her to get her off.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I say, there's still just something in me.
Yeah.
That's just like,
bit cautious.
Yeah,
like
standoffish.
Yeah, like you say, like if you're not around these animals all the time, you've never been around them, you are going to be like that.
Yeah,
like it's not the end of the world. It does take getting a bit used to.
Yeah,
but like I say, they're not for everyone. They really aren't for everyone.
So this is her thing, isn't it? Here, the thing
wrapping around
just
me.
there. No, here, look.
What, cloaca?
Yeah, so it's just there, isn't it?
So that's her cloaca.
Okay, so that's obviously more predominant there.
Because she's bigger.
Yeah, so it's more of it is like a flap.
Yeah.
Essentially, I was going to say, because surely it would just get shit in it, but I don't mean shit as in shit.
Yeah.
Like, crap. Like, it would get leaves and the stuff that's in there with.
Well, believe it or not, as well, pythons. Something I forgot to tell you earlier on.
Keep that on your mouth.
Right there, you can feel little tiny indents, and that is from where they used to have legs, where they've evolved. So they've got little tiny, you can call them little claws.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Stuff like corn snakes and that, they don't have them at all. It's only pythons, raw pythons and reticulated pythons.
So what did they evolve from?
Very
Just
good
lizards?
question, mate. I think so. That I'm not too sure on, if I'm completely honest with you. That I'm really not too sure on.
Okay.
But that is the remnants of them having legs, essentially, from when they've done evolve, or when they've been evolving through the years. Right, I'm going to put this girl back now because she is sizing up my face for some meals.
Yeah, evolved from lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wikipedia says. But did you hear about? Speaking of Wikipedia, did you hear about Elon Musk? No. He offered Wikipedia $1 billion if they'd change their name to Shitopedia.
No,
yeah.
I've never heard that.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's right.
No, I never heard that, to be fair.
Why is that showing that? Okay, is there anything else you want to let the good folks all over the world?
I mean, I suppose it's pretty much the same message as the last one from the tarantula video. They're not out there to kill you, get you, bite you, whatever. They just want to be left alone. If you see them in the wild, leave them alone or observe them from a safe distance and you'll be absolutely fine. So that's probably my message towards snakes as well.
Okay. And then I always ask my guests this on the final episode. What is some advice that you would give to someone that is thinking about getting, tarantulas or snakes or, any exotic animal, and then just sort of general life advice as well?
So if you're looking at getting your first tarantula or snake, make sure you do a lot of research before you go out and buy one. Don't just do it as a spur of the moment thing like, I want one of these. Go down to the shop and buy one. Do your research. Make sure you know how to look after the animal properly. Make sure you know that you can keep the conditions right for it. Keep its heat right, its humidity, everything like that. But yeah, as long as you put a lot of research into it and it's what you want, it's not going to be like have it for 2 weeks and then you're over it sort of thing.
Yeah.
Go for it. In my opinion, it's one of the best things in the world. Keeps me entertained 24 hours a day when I'm at home. So
yeah, well, you can see that you're passionate about it. Like,
yeah,
you can see that it. You know, you are a lover of these animals, and they are. You know, as you say, they are your pets. Which I think to some people, they would find that statement strange.
Yeah.
Not me being one of them.
No,
but yeah, it is quite a strange pet animal.
Yeah,
I mean, an animal to have as a pet.
Yeah.
And yeah, then any sort of life advice you'd give, anyone young?
I suppose if you got some sort of a dream or there's something you really want to do, chase it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it.
100%. Yeah. I absolutely sign up to that.
Yeah.
Massively. And I heard a quote from our professor last night at jiu-jitsu, Marcelo, and he said that what was it? I'm just trying to find it now. Yeah, so Marcelo Copper, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He said that you should, and it's for life as well, really. You should turn up to jiu-jitsu as an empty cup, ready to be filled with knowledge.
Yeah.
And I that really stuck with me, like through the training session, and now, like when I turn up, like especially like with jiu-jitsu and that, like there is like you definitely get your ego checked, and if you don't leave it at the door, then you will soon be relieved of it.
Yeah.
Because there's always someone in there that's better than you, someone that's more trained, someone that, and it's like there's quite a lot of people that are smaller than me, and they just have their way with me all the time. But yeah, no, I do sign up to that. Like, don't listen to anyone telling you not to do something that they're not doing.
No.
Like, if they're not in your space or the space that you want to be in, don't listen to them. Find someone that is already doing what you want to do, or is someone that you look up to and value their opinion on it, and then make the steps. Because if you can learn from someone that's been in your shoes and has done what you want to do, then you can see that there is a path there. And if you're the first person to do it, and you're the who's that?
I don't think
that was yours.
Was it me?
Yeah, that was Siri. So just if you've got a dream, honestly, just chase it, keep going. It will be hard. There'll be ups and downs, and you've just got to keep on going. And consistency,
100%
is 100% key.
Also, if there is other people, if you're talking to anybody about any sort of subject that you're really interested in, doesn't matter how much or how little they know, or how much or how little you know, they might still know something that you don't. So don't just bat people down. Always take information in.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, on that, thank you very much for coming in again today. Buddy. It's been another wild episode. Have you got any social set up yet?
I still haven't got it set up.
Okay, we'll ignore that. And yeah, if you haven't seen the other episode, then you've watched them backwards, but it shouldn't matter because they're on the two different species that we've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for coming in today, James.
Thank you very much for having me again.
And thank you for listening, everybody.